I'm not telling you this story to like make myself seem like a good person. I'm a shitty person. So don't get the story wrong here. I'm just telling you my experience with it. My name's Jade, obviously. I'm drinking coffee. It's like 1:45 right now. And I'm gonna talk about religion today because there's been a couple of people that I've witnessed. They went from like being religious in some way, shape, or form, and then went down this path where they are now an atheist or agnostic. And I'm noticing like a correlation between like what I went through when I ended up having this transition thing happen and like what their attitudes are about it. I guess I'll just start from the beginning. Let's put this down somewhere. When I was a child, when I was a wee lad, I was a Christian all growing up. I remember vaguely going to church. I remember having the 3-piece little button-up suit. I remember not really knowing why I was ever in church for the most part. And I remember a couple times I went to church with I think it was my cousin. I remember they ended up doing something different than like praying or anything else like that. They like did the thing where like they touched 4 points and then like oh cool. And I was like, I have no clue what that was about. But I remember the first time that happened, I was like, that was totally different than any other, church experience I had. So I was like, I asked my mom, like, what's the deal with that? Why is that different than like what we had? She was like, oh, well then it's basically like the same thing. And then she went on this tangent. I don't remember what it was because I was a child. I just remember questioning like why there was something different. But it was in Colorado when I was on the school bus with some other kid. It turns out he was Jewish. I remember he ended up talking about like what his religion was and like what it meant to him and like how that influenced like what his lifestyle was like. And I remember like thinking about it on the bus and I was like, wait, I had the impression that my religion was the right religion and there was no other religion that was right. And then like it was just all of the religions were wrong and I didn't know why all the other religions were wrong. I just knew that they were wrong. I was taught that they were wrong. I didn't know anything. And I remember when I first met a Jewish person, they explained everything to me. And I had this moment where I was like, what if their religion is right and mine is the one that's wrong? Because I was always taught that mine was the right way and then any other way was wrong. And the way he was taught was that his was the right way and other ways were wrong. So it was like, that can't make sense. One of us has to be wrong. And what if I'm the wrong one? What if, like, I don't want to just be arrogant. And I don't know why I'm arrogant now. I don't know why I wasn't arrogant as a child, but I remember like having that moment when I thought about it. I was like, why? Why is one of us right and one of us wrong? So I remember I brought that up to my mom and I was like, hey, like there's this other religion. Like, what if ours is the wrong one? She was just like, never talk about that again. Don't bring that up. And I was just like, okay. I ended up losing a memory card to like a PS2. I remember praying and I was like, dear God, if you don't help me find this PlayStation 2 memory card, I won't believe you're real. Because I really wanted to play Grand Theft Auto 3. I remember I like said that and then like couldn't find the memory card. Then I was just like, okay, like he didn't answer my prayer, so he's just not going to be real. He's not real to me. And I said it like out loud multiple times. I think I like cried myself to sleep or something too. I don't remember why that memory card was so important. About like a month later, my mom ended up telling me about like this one thing. The way I interpreted it was like it was the unforgivable sin, which was just saying that Jesus and God wasn't real. I was like, oh, well, I already did that, so I guess that religion's out of the books, and I guess I can't be that anymore. Then in North Carolina, we ended up going to church a few times. A really big church. Like, it was like an amphitheater. It was like one of the biggest churches I've ever been in. And I remember we went there like 3 or 4 times, and every time I went, I got like that knot in my throat where I just like felt like really emotional about it, and I didn't know why. So I thought I was like regaining my roots with religion and whatnot. Just like knew that there was still like something there, but I didn't really know what. Fast forward, we moved to Oregon. While I was in Oregon, I realized that I didn't necessarily, like even in North Carolina actually, in North Carolina when I realized that gay people existed and they were a thing, I never thought that they shouldn't have gay rights. Like I was always for gay rights, even though I had no idea that I was gay. What ended up happening in Oregon was I was like still like in this like kind of like on the fence trying to figure out what exactly was going on with my religious views. I ended up going through a rough patch with my mom because I was being an arrogant asshole, because that's what I am. I did some questionable things regarding sexuality. Like I had an attachment for one of my friends, and then just like one day she like realized that, and then she just like cited a Bible verse to me about like how being gay was wrong and it was sin, and I was like, so when she cited a Bible verse to me and she was like, no, this is completely wrong and it's not allowed. And she was like, I was like, okay, well, I'm just not going to deal with religion anymore. Like, religion obviously is segregating people. It's tearing people apart. and they're arguing about who's right and who's wrong, and it's just another thing to add to this world that's already kind of shitty, where people are just butting heads all the time. And I was just like, no, I'm definitely against religion completely. I was like, I'm an atheist now. I'm not going to deal with it. And the thing was, when I first entered that stage, I was very judgmental about people who had religion, and they were like, oh, well, I'm Christian, or oh, well, I'm Catholic, and for some reason a part of me was like, oh, well, I instantly can't like this person because they're religious. I had this really arrogant view of religion, and I was completely against it. Like, to sum up what my attitude was towards it, it was basically like, I saw everything in the Bible as like a bedtime story, and I like didn't feel like I needed that bedtime story in order to tell right from wrong, and I thought it was ridiculous that some people did. It took me a while to process everything for me to realize that me disliking people for being a religion was just another form of prejudice. And I didn't realize that for a really long time. And then once I realized that there are people who need religion or want religion, or they make the choice to be religious or whatever it is. I realized that religion has a lot of benefits for people. It does, like, there are like homeless people, for example. I like never thought about the concept that someone who's homeless and who has nothing to live for, when they have a religion that helps them keep going in life, like even if it was like just completely wrong, like I'm not saying it's wrong, but if it was just completely wrong and that was a dead end, it's still giving somebody life and energy to move forward and keep progressing in life and to not give up, because everything happens for a reason. And I think that drive that it gives people, and the morals, the foundation of it is really good. It's just extremists that ruin it, because extremists ruin everything, because that's what their goal is in life, I guess. After I realized that everybody just kind of like believes what they want to believe, and if it doesn't affect me, that it doesn't matter, I kind of just stopped talking about religion altogether, because there's nothing I'm gonna say that I'm not gonna try to convince someone that their religion's wrong, and I don't want someone to try to convince me that their religion's right. So the reason I wanted to talk about this was because, again, I saw a couple of people, and I saw them go down that path where they're just like, oh, well, I was religious and like now I'm not, and just thought it was interesting to like see what path I went down, like see it from the outside in, and just see like the level of like prejudice or arrogance that it causes. And yeah, so that's that. If you have any comments about religion, then go and just like say them below. Otherwise, yeah, that's what I wanted to talk about this week. I don't know how relevant it is. I'm kind of just like making a diary of everything that I believe at this point in time, because I think it's cool to see my views in a year, because I'm conceited. Yeah, have a good day. Have a good night. That is my old outro. Follow me on social media and shit. That's my outro now. I gotta go to class.